Konnichiwa. My name is Ali, and I come from London. I'm here for a month. I run a company called Rails Software, we're a consultancy that works on Ruby on Rails projects. One of the things we specialize in is web application security, specifically for Rails applications. I'm going to take 5 minutes right now to talk very, very briefly about the kind of things we do for clients and what you should do. The kind of things we advise our clients to do and what you should do if you want to keep your web applications secure. Okay? Before we get into the details of what you should do, it's useful, I think, to talk about a definition of security. A lot of developers, especially senior developers, have ideas about what is secure and what isn't secure. From our point of view, we say this as a company that has looked at the code bases of, at this point, 10, maybe 20s plus applications. The definition of security for us is how often your application is attacked in production. Nothing else actually matters to us in terms of how secure your application is. Any theoretical sort of basis for I guess, how correct your code is not as relevant as how often your application is attacked in production. And you should care about the security for three main reasons. Firstly, for your users, because your users are the people you're building software for. Secondly, for your company, because they kind of rely on you, and as a developer, you're kind of the first line of defense any security vulnerabilities in your application. And finally, I think from a sense of professionalism, because especially since you're all here presumably to learn how to build Rails applications better, from a sense of professionalism, I think we all strive to build more secure software, or higher quality software, and security is one access of that security, quality. So I only have 5 minutes, so I have 3 things I would like you to do in all of your Rails applications to make them more secure. Number one, if you don't already do this, every month, update the version of Brakeman you use. And Brakeman is a static code analysis tool that flags a number of vulnerabilities in your application. And I want you to run that every month as like a monthly process, like set up like an email notification for you to do this. Whatever you have to do to make sure it happens every month. Make sure you update it, make sure that you run it. The other thing in the same vein is bundler audit, because what bundler audit will do is it will tell you which of your dependencies have security vulnerabilities in them and tell you which versions to upgrade to. Second, on a regular basis, I would say in the order of every 3 months or so, what I would like you to do is get a company external to you to do a vulnerability assessment or a penetration test on your code base. That, to me, like having people who are sophisticated attackers, who know what they're doing, who go in and basically try and arsenal different attacks on your code base is the only thing that really matters in terms of the long-term security of your application. And the third and final thing I have about 26 other things, but these are the 3 I had to pick for 5 minutes. The third and final thing I suggest you do as an organization is regular log file analysis. And what I want you to do when you're doing this is basically have an idea of the typical types of traffic you expect to see in your hitting your application. You'll see things like your regular users. Use something like Logstash or Kibana that will help you to figure out exactly what regular traffic looks like. And then the reason I want you to do this and do it regularly in the region of maybe once a week is so that you know what normal type traffic looks like. So when an attack eventually happens, when a malware service attack or something like that happens to your code base or to your application, then you know that that's not the normal sort of pattern of traffic you expect. You'll see things as well like crawlers that hit your application that you won't be tricked into thinking that that's for example, a malware service attack. Okay. Sorry, I have 4 things. One more thing. The other thing that if you can't quite afford a penetration test on like a regular basis, what I suggest you do instead is open up a public bug bounty where you pay actual, like real dollar money, yen, we're in Japan, sorry. You pay yen to people who report bugs in your application, and then when they actually do so, you be responsive to them. The best place for that kind of bug to be resolved is in a private email thread between you and that person. It is not good to have that resolved in a blog post that they put out there before you have a chance to respond to it. Okay. So I have about 30 seconds left, but that's pretty much all I have for 5 minutes. So if you'd like to talk about security in your applications, please talk to me afterwards, and I'd love to talk.